we'll share the screen and we start. Just give me 1 minute. Ved, you can close your video. That will be great. Yeah, thanks, Ved. Thanks. Just to avoid the distraction for anybody. That's why. Thank you. I think Sonam Kumari has also joined. Sonam, if you can put that in the chat box कि आप कौन से कॉलेज से हो और कौन से ईयर में हो, आप स्पेशलाइजेशन कौन सा कर रहे हो, कौन से ईयर और कौन से कॉलेज में हो. Sonam, if you are able to hear me, you can put that answer in the chat box. Sure, Sonam. Yeah, go ahead. Anubhav, hi, good afternoon. Which college and which specialization that you are doing? Right, Sonam. Okay. Thanks for joining in, Sonam. PIBM, I think one college that's, I would say, something which I have been interacting a lot. The students have been interacting a lot with me and with the Skill Edge team, with Shalindra sir also. And a couple of the students are definitely part of Skill Edge now as they are working in the company. So great to have you, Sonam. Thank you for joining in. And assuming you are doing PGDM in finance, if I'm not wrong. Anubhav, thanks for joining in once again from PIBM. And I hope you have a great session today. All right, sir, very good afternoon once again. Good to see you. I think we're going to start now. I'm going to share the screen. And good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, everybody who have joined. It's a special program. It's a special program. It's a special induction program for this special course. Something for the first time in the industry. इस तरह का एक I would say very strong course for non-tier 1. When I say non-tier 1, it's a non-IIMs and the non-IITs के लिए the program has been designed. The course has been designed, and this is the induction program where you will come to know about what opportunities, emerging careers in finance. You'll come to know about the course in detail. Obviously, Shalindra sir is there, who is one of our course directors, being very instrumental in designing the course. You'll come to know him. There are a few mentors who are joining us today. Some of the mentors are from Goldman Sachs. As you know, one of the premier investment banking firms in the world. So we're going to talk about that, all those things. We're going to talk about the engagement model, how it's going to work. Because as you all are aware of, tomorrow is the first class also. Today is the induction program. Tomorrow we are initiating the classes. So yeah, it's going to be a very power-packed 4 months for all of you. Let's start the session. Let me share the screen for all of you and just give me 1 minute. All right. So good afternoon once again. Good afternoon to all the people who have joined in. And 13th of Feb, we're doing this induction program for this course, which is called as Full Stack Finance Edge. एक बात मैं बोलना चाहूंगा before I start. इसको full stack क्यों बोलते हैं? See, the word edge जो है, as a company, Skill Edge के हर एक courses के end में edge आता है, because the idea is आपको वो edge मिलना चाहिए जब आप interview में बैठे हो, और वो भी high paying fresher interview में जब आप बैठे हो, तो आपको वो edge मिलना चाहिए. So Skill Edge के हर course के end में edge है, word edge है. That's a brand identity. But what do you mean by full stack? राइट? ये जो फुल स्टैक वर्ड है, ये दर्शाता है कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ जॉब टाइटल्स के लिए ये कोर्स बनाया गया है। और फुल स्टैक का मतलब है, आने वाले स्लाइड्स में आपको दिखेगा, 5 जॉब टाइटल्स की तैयारी आप एक कोर्स में कर रहे हो, इसीलिए उसको फुल स्टैक बोल रहे हैं। वी कॉल इट फैमिली ऑफ जॉब्स। सो एक तरह का फैमिली ऑफ जॉब्स है, वो फैमिली ऑफ जॉब्स जो एक एमकॉम, बीकॉम, पीजीडीएम, एमबीए, फाइनेंस स्पेशलाइजेशन के स्टूडेंट्स चाहते हैं करना, क्योंकि वो हाई पेइंग होते हैं। द आइडिया इज, उन जॉब टाइटल्स में व्हाट आर द इमर्जिंग करियर्स, वो इमर्जिंग करियर क्या है, कंपनीज किस तरह एक्सपेक्ट करती हैं एक फ्रेशर से इन जॉब टाइटल्स में, व्हाट डू द कंपनीज एक्सपेक्ट ड्यूरिंग द इंटरव्यू एंड आल्सो व्हेन यू स्टार्ट वर्किंग। And that's why we have used this word full stack. So you are basically getting ready for 5 job titles within one course. So that's why the word full stack finance edge. Let us go ahead. So this is the today's agenda that we are going to learn emerging careers in finance, the new age, आज की तारीख के, right? Not about पिछले 3-4 साल से क्या चल रहा है, right? It's about last 2 साल में, right? Last 2 साल में, and with the COVID, with COVID, and when the entire world has gone to a transformation as far as digital presence is concerned, तो वो फाइनेंशियल वर्ल्ड को भी इम्पैक्ट हुआ है as far as fresher job roles are concerned. और इसी वजह से ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है कि फाइनेंस के इमर्जिंग करियर्स में क्या है, और इमर्जिंग का मतलब है डिमांड हाई है, सप्लाई लो है। सो डिमांड हाई और सप्लाई लो में क्या होता है, आपके किसी भी चीज की कीमत बढ़ जाती है, एंड दैट्स व्हाई हम लोग बार बार कह रहे हैं दीज आर फॉर हाई पेइंग जॉब रोल्स, क्योंकि डिमांड बहुत है पर सप्लाई उतनी नहीं है। और इंटरेस्टिंग बात यह है, पहले क्या होता था कि कंपनीज वर ओनली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड फॉर आईएम्स और सम ऑफ द वेल नोन ब्रांडेड और टीयर 1 बोलते हैं कॉलेजेस के ग्रेजुएट्स फॉर फ्रेशर जॉब रोल्स। लेकिन अब इंडस्ट्री ये कह रही है, डजंट मैटर व्हिच कॉलेज यू ग्रेजुएट फ्रॉम, what is more important is, do you have those skills which are required in the emerging career in finance? तो उसके बारे में आज हम सीखेंगे। Obviously the course details, that is very important for you to know, and what is the output. एक आउटपुट आपको समझ में आ गया कि 5 जॉब टाइटल की तैयारी हो रही है, पर वो जॉब टाइटल्स क्या हैं, एंड सम ऑफ द फाइनर नुआंसेस का मतलब फाइनर डिटेल्स ऑफ दोज जॉब टाइटल्स एंड द इवेंचुअल आउटपुट, कि ये सीखने के बाद आप क्या करोगे, कैसे करोगे, एंड सो फोर्थ। To give you a brief idea about the company, so before we eventually dive into the emerging careers and Shailendra sir and some of the mentors who have joined us today and who are also going to join in the next few minutes, I think I want to give you a brief idea about the company also. We are an edtech, and we make diploma, graduate, engineers, and postgraduates from non-tier 1 colleges. We especially work with non-IIT and non-IIM students, and we make them new age employment ready in maximum 12 to 16 weeks. That's the way we work, right? That's about skill edge. We have been doing this for more than 2 years now, where we have imparted more than 6,500 hours of program to more than 20,000 individuals in 80 plus institutes across India. हमारे काम करने का तरीका थोड़ा अलग है. We are not the regular edX, Coursera, NPTEL, स्वयं. We are not, right? तो हमारे काम करने का तरीका कैसा है? तो every student in Skill Edge goes through 3 things, and that is why the impact is pretty high. और अगर logically भी सोचोगे आप लोग, जब मैं अभी ये बात बोलूंगा तब आपको समझ में आएगा, कोई भी स्किल को गैदर करने के लिए, स्किल को सीखने के लिए यही 3 चीजें चाहिए होती हैं, और अगर ये 3 चीजें मिल जाएं, then you know that you are ready for particular job time. What are those 3 things? Number 1, जो वहां पे लिखा हुआ है ब्लू में सेकंड पॉइंट पे, number 1 is knowledge. पर नॉलेज कितना? क्या नॉलेज पूरा चाहिए A to Z? The answer is no. नॉलेज उतना जितना कि जॉब टाइटल, जिस जॉब टाइटल में आप अप्लाई कर रहे हो उसको क्रैक करने के लिए और उसमें जॉब रेडी बनने के लिए जितना चाहिए. and that is called as job role focused knowledge. And इसीलिए, और ये हम लोग, it's not that ये कोई नई बात है, हम लोग जब एग्जाम देते हैं, यूनिवर्सिटी पेपर्स देते हैं, एग्जाम देते हैं, तब पहले हम पढ़ाई उस चैप्टर की करते हैं जहां से क्वेश्चंस आते हैं सबसे ज्यादा. Why? Because we know that we want to clear the paper. That is the first objective, the motive. Same logic. So पहले आपको वो चीज पढ़ाई जाएगी या उस चीज पे स्ट्रेस दिया जाएगा जिसकी वजह से आप इंटरव्यू क्रैक कर पाओ. एंड उस कंपनी में जब आप जाओ तो आप पहले दिन से आउटपुट दे पाओ. That's important in today's time. So that is why we are calling it job role focused knowledge. और इसीलिए हर कोर्स का जो सिलेबस है स्किल एज में, वो इंडस्ट्री अप्रूव्ड सिलेबस है. वो कम से कम 15 से 20 इंडस्ट्रीज को दिखाया जाता है, कंपनीज को दिखाया जाता है, बिफोर वी फाइनलाइज दैट ओके दिस इज व्हाट इफ अ स्टूडेंट गोज थ्रू, अ नॉन टियर 1 ग्रेजुएट स्टूडेंट, तो उसको हाई पेइंग जॉब मिल सकता है. So that is the first pillar, knowledge. और नॉलेज को जब इम्पार्ट किया जाता है वो इतनी ही आसान भाषा में इम्पार्ट किया जाता है जैसे मैं और आप आज बात कर रहे हैं. इफ यू रियलाइज, यूजिंग टेक्नोलॉजी. द सेकंड पिलर इज प्रैक्टिस. नाउ स्किल के लिए सिर्फ नॉलेज जरूरी नहीं है, बिकॉज अगर आप नॉलेज लेना चाहते हो सिर्फ, शायद वो आप यूट्यूब से भी ले सकते हो. फर्क वो है कि पता नहीं कि यूट्यूब में कौन सा वीडियो देखना है, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी. लेकिन नॉलेज स्किल में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट वी प्रैक्टिस नॉलेज ऑन ए कंटिन्यूअस बेसिस, नॉट इवन एक दिन की प्रैक्टिस कि कोई आया एक दिन सिखा के चला गया, कुछ क्वेश्चंस दे दिए, उससे वो स्किल डेवलप नहीं होता है. इट हैज टू बी ए कंटिन्यूअस प्रैक्टिस, और प्रैक्टिस रैंडमली, रियल टाइम इंडस्ट्री केसेस पे, रियल टाइम लाइव केसेस पे. जिस जॉब रोल में आप जा रहे हो, जस्ट इमेजिन अगर उस जॉब रोल के एक्सरसाइजेस पहले से आप करो, don't you think you will be more confident in cracking the interview? The answer is yes, absolutely. And the company will also look forward to you to pay you more in comparison to other people. क्योंकि कंपनी को ये चीज एक्सपेक्टेड नहीं है फ्रॉम ए नॉन टियर 1 ग्रेजुएट कॉलेज स्टूडेंट. बट अब वो स्टूडेंट बता रहा है कि डिग्री मेरी ठीक है, मेरे को डिग्री है, मेरे को एक नंबर मिले, पर मेरे पास जो स्किल है which is equivalent to a tier 1 college, if you realize what I'm talking. So second pillar is practice. And the third pillar, which is very, very important also, is mentoring. जब आप practice कर रहे हो, ये कैसे पता चलेगा कि आप practice सही कर रहे हो कि नहीं? इसके लिए industry mentors का होना बहुत जरूरी है. हर कोर्स में स्किल एज के एक स्टूडेंट के साथ 3 mentors असाइन होते हैं. इसका मतलब 3 फैकल्टी फॉर 1 स्टूडेंट. इट्स अ बिग डिफरेंशिएटर, जो आपको गाइड करते हैं कि ये वाला क्वेश्चन इस तरह प्रैक्टिस करना है, इस वाले इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन को इस तरह जवाब देना है, और नौकरी में किस तरह का एटीट्यूड मेंटेन करना है. सो दिस इज द वे एवरी स्टूडेंट इन स्किल एज, इन एवरी कोर्स इंक्लूडिंग दिस कोर्स, वी आर गोइंग टू वर्क विथ यू. सो नॉलेज, प्रैक्टिस एंड मेंटरिंग, दीज आर द फंडामेंटल 3 पिलर्स. Going ahead, yes, we have been supported by the ecosystem. Startup ecosystem में हमें काफी support मिला. We got the best startup award at IIT Kharagpur, March 2020, in one of their events called as Global Entrepreneurship Event. We also successfully graduated from an accelerator program. That's a TAI Pune accelerator program. Out of 250 startups, 13 startups graduated from that particular program, and we were one of them. So these are some of the, I would say, support mechanism जिसने ये बताया कि जिस तरह हम काम कर रहे हैं और जिस तरह impact create कर रहे हैं कॉलेजेस में स्टूडेंट्स के साथ, I think that's very well noted. Going forward, I think it's a proud moment for me always to share and express the gratitude towards our advisory board. These are some of the big names who have shown their faith, and they are mentoring us as far as the company and the key people are concerned. If you see, some of these names are really big names in the industry, in the edtech industry as well as finance industry. All of them have been part of some of the prestigious institutes, IIT Delhi, then there is INSEAD, which is the #1 B school in the world, then there is Kellogg. So you can imagine the kind of people associated with the company and the people who are mentoring us, guiding us, and so on and so forth. Yes, once again, I must introduce and welcome Shailendra sir, who is the a course director. He's also the co-founder and of Skill Edge. He's the course director of this particular course. Sir, welcome once again. Welcome to the platform. Sir is a chartered accountant. He is a gold medalist from IIM Bangalore. He has mentored many startups over these years. One of the key things, over 30 years of experience in the financial world, from corporate finance to risk management to financial technology. And I think all this experience of his is going to bring down to this particular course in a manner which is unparalleled. He's a visiting professor in some of the leading institutes in and around Pune. Sir, welcome, and thank you for being so integral to company and to this particular course.
Thanks, Rohit. Good afternoon, everyone.
As far as I am concerned, many of you have heard me before, but just a quick round of introduction. I take pride in the fact that over the last 17 years, more than 10 lakh students is what I have mentored, and I take pride in that. It's an absolute honor, the love and affection of the students that they have bestowed to me. And one thing I can tell you, yes, this is what me, Shailendra sir, and our team understands कि कोई भी कंटेंट किसी के दिमाग में जाएगा कैसे, और अगर जाएगा तो वो तैयार कैसे होगा. So it's like like a Dronacharya, right? We understand what it takes for an Arjun or a Eklavya, something like that, right, to become the kind of warrior they eventually became. All right. I think बहुत आसान भाषा में अगर समझाना है, that's how the examples came to my mind. So that's about the course director. I will be also involved in this particular course quite extensively. These are some of our course mentors जो आज session में हैं. I think these are some big names in the industry. अगर मैं सुधांशु सर की बात करूं, he is an ex-army person. He is the only army person in India जिन्होंने voluntary retirement लिया, and he is part of. He was a major in army, and now he has taken a voluntary retirement, and he is part of Goldman Sachs. जिन्होंने Goldman Sachs का नाम नहीं सुना है, वो Google कर सकते हैं. It's the world's largest, one of the largest, I believe, investment banking firm. And he was very passionate कि मेरे को Goldman Sachs के standard का content, industry content लाना है जो IIMs में भी नहीं होता है. And I want to bring that to such a simple language on a Skill Edge platform that सब बच्चों को वो समझ में आए और वो apply कर पाए for these high-paying new age finance career. Then we have Ramanathan. He is an INSEAD grad. आप देख सकते हो. He was also part of Goldman Sachs. Currently, he is part of one of the biggest investment management companies. And he comes with more than 20 plus years of experience in risk management, operations, and financial technology. So you can imagine the kind of people you will be talking to, the people who will be mentoring you, and so on and so forth. All right. With this, I think I'll give the platform to Shailendra sir. मैं काफी देर से बात कर रहा हूँ. One more thing, guys. You can see at the bottom of the screen, Skill Edge का social media handle है. तो आप उसको follow करना शुरू कर सकते हो. Skill Edge official. Along with, you can start subscribing to YouTube channel. That would be helpful because आपको वैसे भी सारे recordings, सारी चीजें मिलती हैं. But social media platform में हम काफी सारे initiatives लेते रहते हैं. And you can be a part of those initiatives. To learn, experience, and everything. So you can follow Skill Edge on social media. The handle is Skill Edge Official. Can I get a quick yes on the chat box? अभी तक जो बात बोली समझ में आई? The flow with which I am talking, मेरा speed बोलने का, is that all fine with all of you? Can I get a quick yes on the chat box from all of you? Guys, if you are able to hear me, can I get a quick yes on the chat box from everybody? I hope all of you have replied because that's very, very important for things to go ahead. कुछ लोग बाद में join हुए हैं, and that's okay, but I would like all of you to reply. That will be really good. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Sir, would like to hear your first initial thoughts on this particular point. Emerging careers, high in demand, low in supply in finance. Sir, over to you.
Thanks, Rohit. So good afternoon, everyone. I think Rohit has correctly set the context for what we want to discuss. So you know about the background of Skill Edge, how we are focused on making the graduates day one job ready, right? So what we do is we look at which careers are in demand, right? So we have courses in various areas. For example, digital marketing is today in demand. The analytics is in demand, right? Like that, we go and look at those titles which indicate, which careers are in demand. We work backwards to look at which are the qualifications, right? So for example, for full stack developer program of us, the right qualified people are, BTechs who are basically in the computer science domain, IT, ENTC, etc. So we look at that and we map what and find out what is the gap between what the industry is expecting from a full stack developer and what a tier 2 college is providing to these Bs and BTechs, right? So that's what we look at and we fill up that gap. That's what we do, right? So we are very focused in those terms. Likewise, we looked at, why can't we do it in finance, right? So this course is totally unique. You wouldn't find anything parallel. We did a lot of research. So we couldn't find any course which prepares for a specific set of job titles in the finance domain. So I speak to various students. I have taught in about 10 business schools in Pune, and I also taught outside of India. I find that one of the challenges that the tier two business school, PGDM, MBAs, or the MCOM students, etc., they face is that they lot of times get up into sales roles, relationship management sales roles, which are good roles. According to me, they are good roles. Even I think Rohit agrees with me, but they may not have that kind of a personality, or they are looking at something in the core finance operations, right? So we looked at which are the careers that are in demand, and then we thought, which are the qualifications that are best fit for these careers, and that's how we designed the course to fill up that gap. The roles that are in demand, we can look at it broadly around marketing, sales, and then we can see, rest of it is operations, right? And we found that these are the roles very much in demand. We looked at various surveys that come up. We speak to industry all the time. We speak to students. We are connected to at least 80 campuses in India, right? So we know, what their TPOs are saying, training and placement offices are saying. So we find that, marketing and sales, some of the things that are in demand is somebody who can manage events, right? So industry outreach, connecting to other participants, inbound conversions, right? Lot of spend is there on the digital media, for example, right? So when somebody calls you and is a prospect, how do you convert him into a customer? And then of course outbound sales, field sales, etc. On the operations side, where a lot of students want to go, we found that the roles in demand in finance are core F&A, right? And many times for senior roles in this, chartered accountants are preferred. We know that, right? But MBAs are also very much in demand. I have a lot of friends from IIM Bangalore who are doing the role of a CFO in very large organizations as well, right? But these are the roles where we find the business analyst, F and core F&A roles, data analyst, finance analyst, research analyst, investment analyst. These are the kind of roles which are operations role where you are doing lot of work around your core expertise in finance, and these roles also have a good amount of demand and supply gap. So a lot of, if you go and look at these roles, you'll always find that they are being advertised on portals like Naukri, Monster, or some other portal where you go to. And the good people in these particular job titles are always in short supply. We speak to a lot of people, they say yes, we do get the CVs, but we don't get good people, right? They have to interview 10 people to select one or something. Even at times the ratio is worse. That's why we found out that these are the roles in demand today, right? Moving on, we also looked at which are the highest paying jobs, right? Those roles should be paying well. What does a good payment indicate? There are two things. One is obviously good payment means it's good for you, for your family. But apart from that, normally when there is a good payment, it also means there is a good prospect of career advancement, right? You will get good payment by and large in those tracks. For example, today on the technology side, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, all these are in very much, great demand. Just like, we talked about full stack developer, and the advancement opportunities are also good. If you are somebody ambitious, you want to move up, get good pay, perform better, and higher responsibility roles, then you should look at these kind of job titles. We found these are the 15 job titles broadly in finance area. We took out some of them because, for example, if you look at CFO, chief compliance officer, risk officer, by and large we are not targeting these roles. Most of you wouldn't target these roles in the first 1 or 2 years. I'm not saying that you are not capable of doing this. I think, I come from that background, Rohin comes from that background, 100% capable, but we are looking at the freshers. We also took out some of those where, for example, compliance officer, etc. They might prefer initially company secretaries, etc. Right? So, and then we looked at what are the key roles for which MBA, PGDM, right, or MComs, BComs, BBAs would be preferred, which is our core target, or the what we are looking at from this course perspective. And these are the ones, as you can see, financial analyst, advisor, loan officer in a bank, investment banker, etc. These are the careers that are very much in demand. And then we find that this is what Rohit, I think, correctly introduced, is a family of jobs, right? These jobs are very tightly linked to each other, and they are like, there is a recipe of being prepared for these jobs, right? So just as if you go to a Punjabi hotel, for example, North Indian hotel, you will find that many of the dishes that we eat, vegetable or non-veg dishes that we eat, the gravy is common, right? There's a red gravy and there's a brown gravy, white gravy, green gravy, etc., and yellow gravy. I think there are five major gravies. Like that, we find is lot of things common in preparing for these courses, specifically from the skill point of view, right? So when it comes to the skill, most of these required you to have some kind of understanding of how valuation is done, how to do projections or financial modeling, right? How to do the data analysis, take data, cleanse it. So all those things, what we'll talk about later in detail, they are common to this set of roles. Moving on. So, just we sort of looked at those profiles in detail on various portals. Of course, I come from that background. I keep speaking to a lot of students. We looked at, we spoke to industry. So this is just a, a illustrative thing, but you can see there's, I think, 100 times more research which has gone into this. And I think Ram and Sudhanshu both are there today. So they will also probably, validate what I'm saying. So we looked at these job titles and we said, okay, what are the employers expecting in this particular job titles, right? In these high pay, high growth roles in finance operations. We looked at the salaries, now, for example, this is a global sort of figure, average BA salary, right, in India. So it's a very broad title in IT. So that's about, 6 lakhs plus, right? So, but of course, there's a lower end and there is a higher end, right? So we looked more into detail. We looked at, LinkedIn data, which is fairly reliable now because LinkedIn connects anonymous data and it's a go-to network for the professionals. I think every one of you must have created your LinkedIn profile by now, right? So look at equity analysis, the average salary is like 470 and a certain variable component, right? So that's good. So almost 5 lakhs average salary. Investment analyst, slightly higher salaries. They're going by the job titles, right? And on the right hand side in this screen, you can see other titles for this role, right? So LinkedIn, because of its algorithms and intelligence, now for example, that there are, I think, 50 million plus, or the big figure, even Indians, 5 crore Indians are on LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn does a lot of analysis in the background and it has identified these as a family of jobs. This is not something that we are saying. So this is where our understanding of these job titles get, doubly validated, right? So if you look on the right hand side, investment banking analyst, 7 lakhs to 8 lakhs kind of this one. Then investment banking associate slightly higher. Um, the next one, corporate finance salaries. So this is where we see, a lot of salary spread, rise starting from about 5 lakhs to about 11, 12, 13 lakhs. And each of these is for less than 1 year experience. If you see there, Rohit, if you just take back, all these jobs, maybe it's not visible here, but on the previous ones, you can see, yeah, it is less than 1 year, right? So all these are freshers by and large, right? So fresher salaries is what I'm talking about, not somebody who's 10 years experience. Correct. So we sort of validated our understanding. We also understand from the TPOs, right? Client, the college placement records. So I think Rohit and me keep talking to at least 5, 6 colleges every week. We have interaction with them. So all that is getting validated from various sources.
So I think, sir, I think it's a good platform that you have created now for this particular slide. And I think Ram is there with us. Good afternoon, Ram. It's good to see you. So good to see you. And I hope everything is fine at your end. Ram, am I audible? Yeah, you can speak. Yeah, you are not audible.
Oh, okay.
Now you're fine. Yeah,
okay.
Now you're fine. Very good afternoon. So good to see you. So good to see you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to meet all of you.
So I think, Shailendra sir, what you have done with this till now, just to have a quick paraphrase of what you have done for the students is, uh, you have told about the emerging careers in finance, which is much in demand and low in supply, which is what this course is focusing on, fundamentally on these kind of job titles, and we will be more categorical about the job titles as we go on. But now with your input, what becomes important is the word skill. That the example that you gave is the curry example. The fundamental curry more or less remains the same, which means the fundamental skill more or less remains the same in the emerging career, with few changes here and there, maybe 20-30% of changes. So it becomes, so now it is important for all of us to understand कि इस family of jobs में, is operation family of jobs में, analyst level operation, which is investment analyst, financial analyst, market analyst, जितने भी हमने दिखाए हैं high paying, किस तरह के skills चाहिए? Before we get into this slide, I think let's have get the input from an industry person, one of our course mentors, Ram. So while I introduced Ram initially, let me once again introduce Ram. Ram, thank you so much for joining in, spending your time. Great honor for all of us to have you, to listen to you. Ram comes with a big pedigree of an NCR grad. He has worked with I think last 2 decades he has worked with some of the big names in the industry, in the financial world, in the investment side, in the risk side, operation side, technology. I think so. We're going to learn from Ram today in next 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. What does an industry really want from these high-paying roles from a fresher? Ram, welcome. And with this, let me ask you the first question. What is the mindset? So maybe you have to go back a bit in your initial days of the career. I'm sure you have taken interviews also. So maybe combination of those two. What is the mindset required if a student from a non-tier college wants to enter into these job roles for a tier 1 company? What is the mindset? Over to you now. Thank you. Yeah. Can you unmute now? Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So just before answering that question, right, I would actually appreciate everyone who has taken part and who have decided to, plunge into this world of finance. Is an extremely interesting area. And, so I've been listening to what Rohit and Shailendra had been speaking for the last 15-20 minutes, right? Extremely good. I will just connect one quick example of what they are trying to do with, the curry example that Shailendra had given. So what comes to my mind is generally, right, you don't serve what you have, you actually serve what is required from the client, right? So in this case, the client is like the job market. Job market demands certain set of skill, and I think this course that they are talking about is extremely, it's precise in the manner which people are getting trained. So a great job that you've been doing, and good to hear that you're targeting, the students who are not from the tier 1, because tier 1 is anyway a creamy layer. But excellent job. So having said that, I'll quickly talk about 2 things based on the experience that I have, right? So 2 things. The first one would be, mindset, the approach that you have to take to do this sort of job, and the second one is the skill set, right? Skill set that you have. This is not written in stone, but these are the common traits that we have seen over the past. I have seen over the past 20 years in this industry. So, talking about mindset, the first and foremost thing that I would think about is, self-confidence. The reason why I'm talking about self-confidence is, imagine you're completing this course of technical analysis, credit analysis, fundamental analysis, etc. Then you're going and becoming a trader or portfolio manager. What actually differentiates between a good trader and a better trader, right? So everybody comes with a skill set. All traders would have done quant research, high frequency trading, etc. But what differentiates traders is the way how they handle themselves. It's pretty psychological, right? The market can go down one day, it can go up another day. So as a portfolio manager or as a trader, you would be passing through all these emotions. So at that point in time, you should not lose confidence that, okay, today the market is down, so I'm losing money. Tomorrow the market might be going up, I might get money. You should not become complacent. So that balance, that confidence level is extremely important. So I would stress on that. So that is where, the mentors play a vital role. Hold on to your mentors. Don't leave them, bug them to your core, and then get that self-confidence in you built. It becomes, you do something for 21 days, it becomes a habit, right? So keep telling yourself, all is well type. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is, the ability to identify risks, especially in this area. Markets are volatile. You would have seen, the V-shaped curve that happened over the last 1 year, right? COVID situations everywhere. I mean, the volatility is always there. So you should be in a position to identify the risks as early as possible. The skill set will help you. And you need to also be confident in taking the risks, right? Because this is not a place, so that the course that you're doing and the job that you'll be getting in is not a place where it's like an FD, right? You put FD and then you can sit relaxed and saying, okay, it's a guaranteed investment that I'm doing. I might get my returns back. You cannot be sure about that. It is all uncertain, right? And it's all speculation. So you need to, have lack of words, have the guts to take that risk. But at the same time, it should be a calculated risk, which I'm sure comes with the skills that you develop. Okay, so that's the second one. Third one is, you need to be extremely agile to the situations that's happening around. You need to react fast, fail fast, right? If something is not working, fail fast and start all over again. And if something is changing suddenly, so let me give you an example of, efficient markets like developed countries, US, UK, Japan, Hong Kong, China, etc. They're all developed countries and they're efficient markets. So any news that comes in, immediately it reflects and there will not be any volatility, much volatility. But emerging market, countries like India, it's not that efficient. It's like any information that comes, it takes a little bit of time to settle in, and so you see volatility. So you need to understand all these things and make sure that you have that ability to take risk. So this is on the mindset. So that's the mindset that you need. Now coming back to the skill set, so there are some skill sets that, so there are technical, as in, it is in the platter that's there in Rohit's and Shailendra's course. So that's beautiful. So I would just want to focus on few other things. So which is like keeping an open mind when you're, doing this skill, or rather doing this course. There might be places where you need to unlearn certain things. What you've learned earlier might need to be, you need to unlearn and then relearn the thing in the right way. So you need to keep that open mind every place, look around every place and learn, things, whatever comes your way, knowledge, gain that. Okay. The second thing is you should be extremely strong with your fundamentals. I'm not sure how many people would have seen the India-Australia match. What India did is we didn't have superstars, but what we had was people stuck to their basics, right? They did a very simple thing of just doing the right thing. I will just play my part. And then it's a fantastic victory. Similar to that, be extremely strong with your fundamentals. The self-confidence that I spoke about combined with the fundamentals will make your career like fantastic. And the third point is data is, everybody knows that it's a new oil, right? And Shailendra also touched upon data analysis. The more stronger you have, the more data you have, you're the master, right? What edges you out of the competitors is the level of data and the analysis that you have. So I think that is extremely crucial. So be strong with the data. I'll just take 2 more minutes. The fourth point that I want to talk about is, decision making skill is very, very important. DECISION, you have that CIS in decision, right? What it means is cut. So that what it means is, for making a decision, you should not be biased. So, you need to tune your mind in that way that you cut across unwanted things, and so that you will be able to decide clearly what you want to do. So that is extremely important. Again, mentors. Hold on to your mentors. Don't leave them. It's an extremely important skill. The last very important point is stay abreast with all your technology, right? So we spoke about artificial intelligence, machine learning, fintech companies emerging out of things. So you need to be on par with what's happening with the industry. Just learn. There's a lot of information about that everywhere. So you can you can learn. Because what is happening right now is all algorithmic trading that was there, which was done based out of models. I'm not sure how many people have heard of a Black-Scholes model or things like that. All portfolio managers would draw it on the board, and then it was physical. Nowadays, it's all completely AI based, and uh, uh, prediction analysis happens in a jiffy. It's like microseconds. People trade in microsecond. High frequency trading happens at that level. So you need to be abreast with what's happening around technology, and I'm sure all these are packaged into this course. So that is really wonderful. Just wanted to leave you guys with this simple thoughts, and I'm happy to take any questions if you have.
Great. I think great to hear, Ram, and thank you for your thoughts. I'm going to paraphrase this for all our participants, including me. First thing what you talked about, the mindset, the 3 points, fascinating points. I personally feel that's a very fresh points that you mentioned. One is the self-confidence, very important, definitely important, and I think that differentiates a tier 1 graduate with a non-tier 1 graduate eventually. And if somebody can bring that out, doesn't matter which college you are graduating, because then you have that confidence to express yourself in the interview, and also when you are working for these kind of emerging careers. So well said, Ram. Thank you for sharing that thought. The second point you spoke about, risk. Absolutely. It's about taking risk, and being agile in your mindset, which is more important. Because at the end of the day, finance comes with a risk-taking ability, because that's what it is, right? Risk management. People who are in the credit analyst role, they talk about the risk management, the volatility, and so on and so forth, which also means a fundamental strong knowledge of statistics, because risk is very closely related with statistics, and that's how the learnings has to be done. So that's the second point that you mentioned, that be open for risk. That's very important. And the third is, as you said, about fail fast, which is kind of, again, a bit of agile methodology. Fail fast. It is important to know the markets which are very volatile, because you are entering into a very volatile kind of environment. Finance is all about volatility in the large perspective. So fail fast, and that's important. अगर कोई चीज आप सीख रहे हो, उसको practice करो, नहीं हो रहा है, दूसरी चीज करो. But that's the mindset which is important for all the students entering into these kind of emerging careers. As far as your skills are concerned, I think I will just say that you have resonated some of the other mentors who have come last time. One is your strong aspect on your fundamentals. Very strong, very important. Whether it is an interview, industry doesn't want you to be 100% ready with every concept, but you should be good in your fundamentals. You mentioned that, and we definitely have taken care of it in our course. The second part that you mentioned, which is a fascinating point, is a finance career must also be integrated with technology and data. Without that, you can't expect a company to pay more. Then you are an average. Then you are within the not that you will not get a job, but then you are within the rat race. But you have to be, if you want to edge out your competition, that your ability to cut the data, as you use the word in decision making, ability to cut the data, infer the data, and using technology. And that is how we have included in our course data analytics, the Python for finance people, something that we're going to talk about more in the subsequent slides. But thank you, Ram. Thank you so much for spending time, sharing your thoughts to our students. And for me, it's a great, once again, for the first time, seeing you live, talking to you. That's a great honor for me also. Thanks for spending time, Ram. It's a real pleasure talking to you. All right. Going forward, I think we also have Sudhanshu. Sudhanshu, hi. I think it will be a very interesting point now to get Sudhanshu's perspective from a different angle, and an ex-army person getting into the corporate, and that too moving into the ladder so high, in the corporate world, where he is able to see being part of the big Goldman Sachs now. So Sudhanshu, same two questions to you: the mindset and the skills, and maybe your perspective. And you obviously are a very integral part of this course now. You will be taking some of the sessions with the students going forward. So would like to know your views on this particular point. Wait, I'm going to unmute.
So thanks, Rohit. Thanks a lot. First of all, I would like to thank Rohit for this opportunity, as well as very, very heartening to listen to Shalindra sir as well as Ram sir. And I just checked out Ram sir, that Ram sir was in Goldman Sachs only for many, many years. Then he moved to JP Morgan. So quite heartening to see Sir Ram sir and hearing him. So thank you very much. So first of all, I just want to say that, as Rohit pointed out, and as Shalendra sir and Ram sir has already said, that what kind of mindset is needed. So I won't repeat the same points, but what I would like to add is that one needs to have a hustling attitude in today's world. So hustling attitude means that a passion to learn. So even if you are from whichever college you are, I would say, if you are from tier 1 college, tier 2 college, it doesn't matter. If you have that desire to learn, that hustle to learn, you can always progress. So there have been times I have seen that people who have this hustle to learn have surpassed those barriers which even tier 1 colleges grad could not have done. So I'll take you about my examples. Like, I have been in touch with Rohit for many, many years now. So, I was, again, I come from a very different background. I was in army for around 12 years. But I had this desire that I needed to excel. So I did a lot of courses. I did a lot of online courses. I kept studying. And, it was quite, hard work as well as frustration also. I would not deny that. But eventually, if you have that desire to work hard and progress, then you will make progress, then you will succeed. And the biggest thing which I realized at that time, that there is so much of information asymmetry in this internet world, that you don't know that what is right, what is wrong. You don't know that whether you are learning is the right skill set or not. So when I collaborated with Rohit with this course, then the primary aim of ours was that to make a course which is very reliable, to make a course which is very industry specific, so that what I have gone through in particular, when I studied 10 things and only 2 things came out to be useful for me. I don't want that students who are pursuing this journey to go to the same thing. So our endeavor has always been to create a course that which helps people to excel, as well as I told about the mindset, that the mindset required today is that one needs to hustle, one needs to learn. As there is a very famous quote which is discussed in my company, that right now the skills are like radioactive elements. The half life of the skills is so small that if you don't learn them fast, then the half life will expire. So it's like that. You have to learn fast, and as Ram sir pointed, you have to unlearn and then relearn, because data science and this Python programming, HFT, high frequency trading, the way things have come, the prior skill set have already gone obsolete. So whatever you are learning in school, colleges, those are already obsolete. You have to have the latest skill set, and wherever you are getting an opportunity to learn, your endeavor should be to learn as early as possible, as fast as possible, because things are moving very, very fast in this finance world and in any technology world. Data science is coming very fast, and things are changing very, very fast. There are people, I'll tell you, in my firm only, in New York office, not in India office, people are already being hired for quantum computing. So see, there are people who are hired from bigger universities, because people are thinking of exploring this quantum computing in finance. So even now, blockchain is now become secondary. People have moved to quantum computing. So my whole point in this discussion is that aim is to hustle and aim is to learn. That is what I will provide for the mindset. And another point which I like about this course, like I'll tell you, right now listening to Ram sir was like, very good for me. It's quite like an industry veteran. So the good thing which people will be getting, that they would be listening to industry veterans, and those guys, once they are in the field, there's obviously they are knowing something extra which people who are not working would not be knowing. So there are many guys who will tell you do this, do that, but the reliable knowledge, the exact knowledge, you will only get from people who are industry specific. And that is the part of the course that we have mentors and we have people who are from industry. So that is also a very, very important thing. And last but not the least, I would say that nothing is impossible. If an army guy can do CFA, FRM, and quantitative finance and come to asset management in Goldman Sachs, so anybody else must do it. People will get very surprised to see me that, how come. I think I am the only army guy in the whole world, you can say, not in India, that who has done all these financial certifications and is working in proper type asset management in Goldman Sachs. So I would say that if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's all about your mindset and your desire to succeed. And if students are really willing to give, then nothing can stop them. So that's where I will end. And I think this is a fabulous course, and we should all try to make it a success. So that's from my side. Thanks, Rohit.
Thank you, Sudhanshu sir. Thank you for spending your time and energy as always. I will take three things from your from this discussion. One, be a hustler. Be a hustler, and hustler is equivalent to what Ram also mentioned. Being agile, being ready to learn, unlearn, and relearn. I think that's what I will take as the first point. I definitely like the quote, skills are like radioactive elements. I think that's a new quote that Skillage will use. But that's a learning for me. Yeah, absolutely. And the skills are like radioactive element, and if you can't learn it fast, you will become obsolete. And if you are career oriented, if you want to earn more, then you have to learn quick. That's important. And the third part which you mentioned is definitely very important, that it's very important to learn these things from an industry perspective and from industry people rather than academic version. Because not that academics is not important, but academics comes with its own limitations because faculty have to complete the course. There are other activities within the college and so on and so forth. And that is why it is very important to have a mindset from an industry perspective, all the more because you may not get that environment within your college. So if you get an environment outside the college and you want to earn high, which is for emerging careers, it is important to learn from an industry perspective. And which you also mentioned, Sudhanshu sir and Ram also mentioned, that there will be something extra that industry person will know beyond the books, which because he or she is doing it, real time. And that's why I think that's going to help the students in a big way. So thank you for sharing the thoughts, Sudhanshu sir. Chalendra sir, over to you. I think Sudhanshu sir, Ram sir, you and I, all of us have highlighted the skills which are required for these careers that we are talking about, emerging careers. Anything you want to add over here?
No, I think both of them have covered most of these, and I think resonate with what we have put up over here. So I'll not spend too much time on that. Obviously, I think communication, presentation, etc., are considered hygiene factors, but we know that people need to be groomed even for that. Basically, a lot of us, like I come from a background of having been brought up in small villages in Maharashtra, right, where there was no electricity. First time I saw electricity was when I was in fourth standard. So coming from different backgrounds, a certain amount of grooming is required. So all those aspects also we take care of in the course. So communication, presentation, usage of productivity tools. Besides, others that mostly both even Ram as well as Sudhanshu thankfully covered. So maybe we can go to the next slide.
So with this, yeah. I think, sir, you can mention this. With this, we are coming to the course details now. So we've covered the emerging careers, the skills required from an industry perspective, what kind of mindset required for the fresher students. Now let's come to this particular course. Sir, over to you, Full Stack Finance Edge.
Yeah. So you have seen so far, we looked at which are the key roles in demand, what the industry is demanding, where the high-paying roles are. We looked at what are the skills required for that, right? And then we, from our experience of teaching, I think Rohit has coached probably 1 million students so far in various activities in education, and I have trained a couple of thousand students. So I know, where the gap is, right? What is required and what exists, right? So for these specific family of roles, as we discussed, finance analyst, investment analyst, etc. So we looked at which are the companies that are recruiting. We found very large numbers, right? So the course prepares you for this family of jobs. Number one. So that's the target. And moving on, why do we want to look at this particular course, right? When we designed it, why should students go for this course, right? So a single course targeting a couple of job families, right? So we are not preparing you only for research analysts, right? So for example, investment banking analyst might need a certain additional skills which are not too different from what a research analyst need, but we are adding there, right? That's why it's about 4.5 months course. Otherwise we could have sort of done the course in about 2 to 3 months time frame. There is no investment from the students. I think Rohit will explain that more, right? The investment in terms of monetary amount, right? So money. But yes, lot of investment is required from the students in terms of their efforts, their energy, their attentiveness, correct? So that is definitely required. It's a very demanding course. There's an industry mentoring, I think. So we have, I think earlier itself, Rohit mentioned, we have the industry mentors, right? We have the faculty and others. So we have 3 mentors for one student. There's a lot of hands-on practice that is built into the course. So tomorrow the first session is there. So I'll be asking the students to do something, correct? Don't just online. So many of us can go to sleep as well, right? Switch off our cameras. We don't allow our students to do that because we have some goal for them and they also have a goal for themselves, right? So we'll ask them to do some activities, ask them questions. We'll keep them completely engaged. Wherever there is an opportunity to practice, maybe through MCQs, maybe by writing something, maybe through solving some problem, we'll make sure that they solve something, right? So that not there are elements of this course that are very heavy on practice. For example, financial modeling, business valuation, writing of maybe the research reports, right? So we'll actually get it done by the student. And
Data
we, of course,
analytics, which is programming part also.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Rohit. And then, of course, most of the, most of the faculty, myself, Rohit, and others, Sudhanshu, others, we understand 2 to 3 languages very well. So I can speak well in Marathi. That's my native. I can, of course, discuss in Hindi and English. So we are prepared. If you face any challenge, interact with you in the native language as well. And then this course addresses again a stream of students. Again, just like we are addressing couple of job titles, we are looking at the set of students, right? So BCom, BBAs, MComs, MBA, and PGDM, right? So all these streams, these people are well qualified to go for these kind of jobs. That's what we observe. There are about 200 plus hours of class connects, quite heavily demanding course over 4 months, 50 plus modules, and we have a lot of sessions. You will get access to recording, you will get access to the mentors, you will get access to the faculty, our career counselor, and the placement consultants for a long period of time after completion of the course. In case you have certain queries, after even getting the job, or if you haven't got job immediately, right? We'll talk about that. And then there are case studies and other stuff. We also prepare you for the interview because interview preparation is very important and it's quite intensive built into this course, right? So that's what it is. Online classes, we make finance easy for you. World class faculty, you will find really the best of the people who have worked in industry. And the syllabus, as I think Rohit earlier mentioned, has been very well vetted with the industry. Myself and Rohit have interacted with business schools, we have interacted with students, we have interacted with professionals like Sudhanshu and Ram. We have also spoken to a lot of HR people in the industry, right, to understand what really is required, and then we have built that into this particular course. How is it delivered? Just to give you some idea, in the first month we cover finance and accounting. I think Ram emphasized a lot about having your basics right, fundamentals. We find that, and I'm personally a graduate in commerce and law to start with, right? Then I did my CA and PG from IIM Bangalore. But I find that a lot of students forget accounting by the time they are BCom, right? Or at least by the time they are PGDM, even if they are from BCom background. As an example, right? This is the reality, right? And this is not to sort of point out some lacuna, but this is what I experience when I go to business schools and talk to the students. So we'll get that thoroughly done, right? So, and the approach is not going to be same as it was in the college, writing down, passing journal entries. Yes, of course, we'll do some part of it. It'll be very interactive. We'll take case studies, we'll discuss a lot of things, and get all these things done. So that happens in the first month. We go through finance basics, time value of money, for example, right? How do you discount the cash flows, all those basics will get it done. And then we'll cover stuff like, banking, capital markets, research, analysis, modeling, valuation. And in the last one, we have more, around presentation, interview preparation, data analytics, right? So those kind of things are there in the last month. So we, by the end of fourth month, we prepare you to face interviews for all these 5 job titles, right? That is what our goal is. And just again, by way of example, what do we cover in the first month? So we have just given a approximate schedule for first 4 weeks, which is approximately first 1 month, introduction to accounting. As I said, in the first month, we get all your basics right. So it includes even communication, basics of communication, presentation, conflict management, these things are required for you to excel in the workplace. But all the other things you are seeing in the top 2 boxes across 4 weeks, we are getting your, accounting and all these things properly in place. Correct? You should be able to understand cash flow statement, because later when you go and do your financial modeling, you may be able to, understand, okay, this is where I put some formula and it gets done. But you should be conceptually clear, how a cash flow is derived from P&L and balance sheet, right? So that's what will get it done in the first month. So we're building a base for us to get into the second, third, and fourth month. In the fourth one, when we are doing, all this Python for finance, etc., by that time we should have our fundamentals ready, and that's what we are focused on.
Makes sense. Absolute makes sense.
So maybe we can move on. Yeah. Again, methodology, a lot of stuff there around, intensive in-class learning. The video recordings are with you to look at subsequently. We use case studies. We give you some home assignments, right? So you should not. You have to be ambitious. You have to have some kind of a fire in the belly, to go through this course, correct? Because without that, you will not be able to differentiate, correct? That has to come from you. Ultimately, I mean, we can add a lot of value to you provided you are being receptive. You are yourself, have that kind of a hunger to assimilate that kind of a knowledge. That is very much required as a part of this course. And there are mentor sessions and other things, right? We introduced you to 2 of our mentors. Last week we had 3 mentors there. And so we have about 80 mentors on our panel, and about 50 of them are some who can talk to you on finance as well, right? So a lot of these things are there. So the methodology is well structured to take you there and make you day one job ready. That's what it is about. And then where would you be at the end of those 4 months, right? At the end of this course, maybe in June 2021, you can look at some of these profiles that we looked at LinkedIn, right? These are my first connects on LinkedIn. So I've obviously anonymized them. I've changed their names to John Doe and Jane Doe, which are, very famously used. So you can look at these, equity research analysts at Edelweiss, someone at Northern Trust Corporation, which is a US based large organization in asset management and custody. Somebody again, in Pune. If you look at all these profiles, these are typically tier 2 college graduates, right? They are either MComs, BBAs, MBAs, PGDMs, right? So all of those profiles is what I've looked at. So you can hope to be like that if this is something that excites you. If finance operations careers and these high paying and high growth careers excite you, then you can look at yourself being somewhere there, right? So that's what it is. So I think, Rohit, you may want to, I think, take up from here and talk to
Sure.
them about how do we engage and how do we get the students on board, and
Sure.
how it goes on from there. So.
Sure. No, I think very well explained, sir. Very crisp and to the point. First of all, let me put a question to all the students over here, and I would like to have their response. As of now, जितना भी आपने सुना, जितना भी आपने अलग-अलग लोगों को सुना, सुधांशु सर को सुना, राम सर को सुना, शैलेंद्र सर और मुझे भी सुना. Is it all clear till now? Is it very exciting? Is the content becomes very exciting for you to learn, because it's very important to have that spirit. अगर वो spirit नहीं है तो ये जो पूरा का पूरा जो course बना हुआ है ना, वो मजा नहीं आएगा और आप लोग बहुत जल्दी burn out हो जाओगे. Is it all fine till now? Can I get a quick yes? No, maybe? Guys, I'm waiting for your response. All right. So it is interesting, right? It is interesting to learn in this manner, to get this kind of exposure. Can I get response from everyone? Yeah. Yeah, it is, right? Because we don't get such kind of opportunities in obviously in academics. And अगर हमको रेगुलर जॉब्स नहीं करने हैं, रेगुलर जॉब्स का मतलब कोई, सी द पॉइंट इज नो जॉब इज बैड और गुड, इट्स अबाउट what do you aspire to be. Now if you aspire to be these 5 job titles and that to have become a part of a tier 1 company, right, and not after 4 years, not after 5 years, now, right now, then this is the course for you. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप ये नहीं करोगे तो नहीं बन सकते, पर उसमें 4-5 साल लगेंगे. डू यू वांट टू वेट फॉर दैट, दैट्स फाइन. बट इफ यू आर लाइक, यू नो, आई वांट एन एक्सपोनेंशियल ग्रोथ, आई वांट टू बी इन दैट फील्ड फ्रॉम नाउ, 4 months from now, then this is the time, right? That's the whole idea. मैं आपको एक बात बताना जरूर चाहूंगा कि you know, at the end of the day, इस महीने जो ये बैच लॉन्च हो रहा है, right, last week there was one induction program, and आज आप लोग इस इंडक्शन प्रोग्राम में आए हो. अगले महीने से there will be an entrance test for people to be a part of this program. Anybody cannot do this, if you understand, right? इसीलिए आप सबका रिज्यूमे शैलेंद्र सर, मैं और बाकी मेंटर्स इवैल्यूएट करने वाले हैं. इस महीने जो आप लोग आ रहे हो कोर्स में, आप लोगों का रिज्यूमे इवैल्यूएट होगा. बाय द वे, सर ने जो सारी बातें बोली, फ्रॉम कम्युनिकेशन, प्रेजेंटेशन, ये सब ऑब्वियसली आपको सिखाया जाएगा. इसमें डिजिटल सीवी भी है. आपका सीवी इस तरह बनाया जाएगा कि हाई पेइंग कंपनीज जो हैं वो देखें और बोले ओके, वी वुड लाइक टू हैव एन इंटरव्यू विद देम. सो पॉइंट ये है, वेरी वेल थॉट, और बहुत ज्यादा आई वुड से नॉट द करेक्ट वर्ड प्रेशर, बट डेफिनेटली आपको तैयार करने के लिए जितनी मेहनत लगेगी, हम देने को तैयार हैं. हमने उस तरह मॉडल बनाया है. आप तैयार हो क्या, वो आपको सोचना है before committing to such a program, right? And now let's come to how do we engage, right? There is always a thought in any student's mind कि कोर्स का फीस कितना होगा, सुनने में अच्छा लग रहा है, बड़े बड़े लोग इन्वॉल्व है, वर्ल्ड क्लास फैकल्टी है. मतलब हमने कभी इस तरह की चीज सुनी नहीं होगी बहुत लोगों ने, राइट, कि IIM बैंगलोर, INSEAD, ये दुनिया के टॉप स्कूल्स के लोग आके पढ़ा रहे हैं, गोल्डमैन सैक्स के लोग आके पढ़ा रहे हैं. ये तो एक ड्रीम कम ट्रू है. But obviously, there is a cost to everything, and we want to make it as affordable as possible with everybody. That's the model that we want to bring in, right? और इसीलिए आपने शुरुआत में देखा होगा जब why full stack edge लिखा था, शैलेंद्र सर ने बताया था, there is no investment. There is no investment from the student, and it is literally like that till the time you get the job, till the time you get the job, you know, and that to a minimum salary, right? अब हम लोगों ने वहां पे मिनिमम सैलरी 5 लाख लिखा हुआ है. We have written 5 lakh rupees as a minimum salary, right? वो इसलिए लिखा हुआ है, we could have easily written 7 lakh, 8 lakh, right? But we have written 5 lakh because which is more than the average for these job titles from a tier 2 college. And the fact that this is minimum, companies have agreed that okay, this is minimum that we can definitely pay if a student goes through this course. And obviously it also depends on the kind of interview the student is given. Minimum obviously means it can be more than that also. You can eventually land up in a job of 6 lakhs, 7 lakhs, 8 lakhs. But the minimum that we are suggesting a student, that the student will be given an opportunity for an interview, and the result of that interview would be a minimum salary of 5 lakh. That's the whole idea that we are talking. So how is this engagement model? This engagement model is like this. अगर आप गौर करो, अभी आप second और third step के बीच में हो. You are in between the second and the third step, right? You have registered, you have signed up, you got a call from our skill advisor. आप में से कुछ लोगों ने प्रियंका मैम, ऋषभ सर, सोमजीत सर, इंद्रनील सर से बात की होगी. They are our skill advisors, right? सर्वेश सर, and now you are part of the induction program, जहाँ पे आपको अलग अलग लोगों से बात करने का मौका मिल रहा है, सुनने का मौका मिल रहा है, and so forth. उसके बाद आपका स्टेप 3 होगा, जहाँ पे आप, जो सर ने एक्सप्लेन किया, जो 4 महीने 200 घंटे 50+ केस स्टडीज और वो सारी चीजें जो आप रन थ्रू करोगे, डेटा एनालिटिक्स, यू विल रन थ्रू टेक्नोलॉजी इन फाइनेंस, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो आपने देखा, वो होगा आपका स्टेप 3. एंड स्टेप 4 एंड स्टेप 5 होगा जब आप ये प्रोग्राम खत्म करोगे 4 महीने. उस प्रोग्राम खत्म होने के बाद आपकी अपॉर्चुनिटी शुरू होगी, राइट? हम आपको कंपनीज के पास सजेस्ट करेंगे, आपका डिजिटल सीवी आपका वीडियो रेज्यूमे, ये सारी चीजें होंगी आपके साथ, ये कंपनीज के साथ शेयर किया जाएगा and they will call you for the interview. If you crack the interview, then you get a minimum salary of 5 lakhs LPA, and when you get that, then only you pay the fees for the entire course. Otherwise आपको कुछ पे करने की जरूरत नहीं है till the time you get that 5 lakh LPA, जहां हम आपकी मदद करेंगे. So that is where we will help you till the time you get the job of 5 lakh LPA. That's what we are here. Not only at the, yes, we will make you ready for that kind of job role, but we will also push you to go and get an opportunity in the companies. At least you can express yourself. This is an illustration of the engagement model, right? There is a registration fees. You can understand it is important to have a registration fees. Zero कर देंगे तो शायद काफी, there's a concept called that there are no free lunches in this world, and that's why we want to keep it a bare minimum 4,000 rupees for the students. That's the registration fees, and there are no other fees to be paid in the entire 4 months for any number of sessions and any access. The point is the students need to pay the fee only after getting the job, and that too of minimum salary of 5 lakhs, right? You pay 20% per month for 2 years, you pay like that, or you pay 33% of this percent जो है ना वो percent of 5 lakhs है, ठीक है? Or you pay 33% in one time fee depending upon student जो comfortable है, but it is only after getting the job, not before that, right? And obviously we will have ये सारी बातें फोन पे या स्काइप मतलब जूम पे नहीं होगी, ये सारी बातें आपके डिजिटल प्रिंट और फिजिकल पेपर्स शेयर किए जाएंगे, मेमोरेंडम ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग शेयर किया जाएगा, वो सारी चीजें होंगी एज वी गो अलोंग विद द कोर्स. मैं कुछ जनरली कुछ सवाल आते हैं स्टूडेंट्स के जब हम स्टूडेंट से बात कर रहे थे, and I want to cater to those questions, right? To begin with, number one, please understand one thing, that Skill Edge is not a placement agency, right? It's like कोई कॉलेज एक प्लेसमेंट एजेंसी नहीं होता है. वो अलग बात है कि हम लोग मान लेते हैं कि कॉलेज गए तो जॉब मिलना चाहिए, और जब जॉब मिलता है तो ये सोचते हैं कि हमें तो ये जॉब करना ही नहीं है. So you get the point, right? हम जब कॉलेज जाते हैं हम सोचते हैं हम कॉलेज गए क्योंकि प्लेसमेंट चाहिए, और जब प्लेसमेंट मिलता है तब सोचते हैं ये नौकरी तो करनी नहीं थी. वो इसलिए बिकॉज कॉलेज वो बन गया है कि भैया प्लेसमेंट प्रोवाइड करेंगे, जबकि कॉलेज का काम होना चाहिए पढ़ाई, और वो नहीं हो रही है अनफॉर्चुनेटली एट द इंडस्ट्री लेवल. And that's why Skill Edge as an edtech company we got incepted, and that's how we are creating impact in tier 2 tier 3 college students. So we are a skilling company. We will definitely make you ready, और इस तरह ready जो आप अंदाजा भी नहीं लगा सकते कि अच्छा मैं अब एक tier 1 कॉलेज के साथ में खड़ा हो सकता हूँ for an interview. That's what we can definitely say from our side. In addition to that, we will also assist you in this particular model to give you opportunity to take interview in the companies. So there are already few companies who have come already on board for this particular program, और जैसे जैसे दिन जाएंगे और कंपनीज ऑन बोर्ड आ रही हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि कंपनीज को तो फायदा ही है, उनको बने बनाए स्टूडेंट्स मिल रहे हैं, बने बनाए फ्रेश MBA, PGDM, MCOM, BCOM स्टूडेंट्स मिल रहे हैं जो इस तरह के काम कर पा रहे हैं, जो उनको एक्सपेक्टेड ही नहीं है कि स्टूडेंट्स इस तरह के काम कर सकते हैं. Students who are graduating from non-tier 1 college, तो उनको तो तैयार बच्चे मिल रहे हैं. So the companies are very happy to come on board, and they are already coming. So this is one thing I want to be very clear to everybody, right? We will help you till the time you get a 5 lakh LPA job, right? By giving you opportunities to interview in the companies. But before that, we will make sure that you are ready for it. सिर्फ हाई पैकेज चाहिए ये नहीं बोल सकते आप, चाहिए उसके लिए क्या नया आपने किया ये भी आपको पता होना चाहिए. दूसरा ये है वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन. देखो ये जो भी बातें हमने की, ये बेनिफिट तब मिलेगा अगर आप कमिटेड हो, कमिटेड टू दिस कॉज, राइट? वी आर वेरी कमिटेड, दैट्स व्हाई वी विल ब्रिंग यू द बेस्ट एक्सपीरियंस टू यू, राइट? पढ़ाई से लेकर जो पूरा सपोर्ट सिस्टम है, शैलेंद्र सर का एक्सेस, मेरा एक्सेस. Just imagine you are talking to Ram sir as a mentor of Goldman Sachs. Just imagine that. अब just imagine करो, and that's so fascinating. ये आपको मिलेगा, पर आप committed चाहिए मेरे को. And we are very tough taskmasters. हाँ, सर के बारे में मैंने बताया आपको. He is a very very well-known faculty in India, India and outside also. When I come to India in Pune and outside Pune, I am a very tough taskmaster. अगर हमने असाइनमेंट दिया तो वो होना चाहिए, क्योंकि आप बार बार समझो हमारा कोर ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है कि आपको तैयार करना। जो 2 साल में नहीं हो पाया, हम आपको 4 महीने में तैयार कर रहे हैं। सोच के देखो, जो 2 साल पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन में नहीं हो पाया, we are making you ready in 4 months for a high paying job. So we are committed. We will make sure it happens. You need to be committed, and if you are committed, you get it. And finally, we don't want to give financial burden to the parents at all. It's an absolutely no financial burden on parents. उनको वैसे ही burden हो चुका है जब उन्होंने आपका, मैं हर एक की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं कुछ लोगों की बात कर रहा हूँ। हो सकता है burden हो पेरेंट्स को कि जब आपका उन्होंने फंड किया ग्रेजुएशन या पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन, बट नाउ इट इज ऑल अप टू यू. You want a high paying job, you prepare for it along with us. We'll make sure that you get that job through our network, through our placement team, through our HR connects. That's how you're entering into skill edge zone. So these are some of the questions जो generally दिमाग में students के आते हैं, जो मैंने आपको जवाब दिया. I hope आपके दिमाग में कुछ ऐसे questions थे जो मैंने answer कर दिया है. I think हमने कहा था ये 12:30 से 2 तक चलेगा, and we are anyways at the last slide of our presentation or induction. I hope you liked what you heard right now till now. So अगर मुझे summarize करना है आप सबके लिए, and with this we are closing in. I'm happy to answer any questions. Summarize अगर आपको करना है आप सबके लिए. Number 1, you learned today about skill edge. जिन्होंने skill edge के बारे में नहीं सुना था शायद. You learned about the mentors and challenges, sir, and about me a bit. Third, we learned heavily in detail about the emerging careers in finance. High in demand, low supply. That's why these are high paying. Then fourth is about the full stack edge course in detail. कि आपका इस कोर्स में 4 महीने में क्या होगा, एक पहले महीने में क्या होगा, which is going to start tomorrow. And that's what you know, right? This is going to start tomorrow, and you learned about it, starting from fundamentals से लेकर analytics तक, the zone, right? And in that you also heard about what kind of skills. You also heard from Ram and Sudhanshu some of the key things which I believe as a student at your level is going to be very, very crucial to keep in mind. The fifth point is the engagement model and the kind of benefits that you can leverage if you are really committed. I think that is it from our side. I would use the word our, Challenger sirs, and my side. Very excited to have you on board. Tomorrow is the first session. Sir is already very excited about tomorrow's session, and we are also excited. There are more than many students coming and be a part of the first session. They have registered. So if you feel you want to be a high paying, you want to enter into a high paying finance career, then I think you should definitely register and be a part of tomorrow's session. Happy to answer any questions, but a quick question to all of you. Did you like what you hear? Was it very exciting for all you people to be here and be a part of the induction program? Can I get some quick responses? Hi, looking forward for your responses. Any questions? Happy to answer. Akshay, thank you. Any questions? Or is it very clear? Even if you have any questions beyond the session, obviously you can connect with us. You can connect with us on LinkedIn. You can connect with us on Instagram. The phone numbers are there. The website is there. You can email us. Everything is possible, and we will be happy to answer any questions. This is our favorite quote. Passion is never enough, neither is skill. I think that's what Sudhanshu also said. Ram also said. Challenger sir has been quoting the same thing. Suggesting the same thing. You need to be hustler. You need to be ready to learn, relearn, to be a part of this course, and eventually for anything. That's important. Yeah. Any questions? Anybody? By the way, ये आखिरी दिन है जहां पे आपको इतना साइलेंस रहने का अलाउड है. अगर ये day 1 होता क्लास का तो आपको अलाउड भी नहीं है इतना साइलेंस होना. Just wanted to tell all of you. You can be silent right now और आपके साइलेंस को नो मान लिया जाएगा कि हाँ कोई क्वेश्चंस नहीं है. साइलेंस मतलब चैट बॉक्स में भी आप चैट नहीं कर रहे हो. But believe me, ये क्लासरूम में नहीं होगा. सर के होने पे, सुधांशु सर के होने पे, मेरे होने पे और बाकी जो भी मेंटर्स हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं. So maybe I will ask individually, Akshay, Nancy, Rashmi, any questions? No. All right, sir. I think thank you, Akshay. Thanks, Rashmi. Thanks, Nancy. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being part of this course and being part of Skill Edge. Thank you, Rashmi. Thanks for your kind words. Thanks all for joining us, and see you tomorrow for the big day where we are going to start the session.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks.
Have a great time. Bye.
Bye.